Welcome to Once Upon a Case, because the law isn't just for lawyers, it's for everyone. Imagine you care deeply about endangered animals, wolves, birds, elephants, creatures whose very survival depends on how we humans act. Now, what if you learned that a US government agency was funding projects overseas that could harm these animals? You'd want to do something, right? That's exactly what happened in the landmark Supreme Court case, Lujan v. Defenders of Wildlife, back in 1992. Here's how it all went down. Defenders of Wildlife is an environmental group. In the late 80s, they noticed that American agencies were financing big construction projects in places like Egypt and Sri Lanka, places where endangered species live. The group believed these agencies should follow US environmental laws, like the Endangered Species Act, even when working abroad. So, they sued. But here's the twist. Before the court would even look at whether the agencies were breaking the law, it had to answer a basic question. Could Defenders of Wildlife even bring the lawsuit in the first place? In legal terms, did they have standing? Standing isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about whether you have the right to ask the court to fix a problem. You need to show you were directly harmed, that the harm is connected to what the other person did, and that a court can actually do something about it. Defenders of Wildlife argued, hey, some of our members go to these foreign countries to see these animals. If these projects keep happening, the animals could disappear, and our members will lose the chance to see them. But the Supreme Court, led by Justice Scalia, wasn't convinced. The court said, look, just caring a lot about something or being upset isn't enough. You have to show a real concrete injury, something personal and actual, not just hypothetical. The idea that someone might someday want to visit a place and see an endangered animal? Not enough for standing, according to the court. This was huge. The decision made it much harder for people, especially environmental groups, to sue the government over broad policies. It basically drew a line. If the harm isn't direct and personal, courts aren't the place to fight about it. So what does all this mean for you and me? Well, Lujan set a major precedent. It's why so many cases get thrown out before they even begin. You can care deeply and still be told by the courts, sorry, you're not the right person to bring this case. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially if you're passionate about making change, but it shows how the legal system draws boundaries, sometimes in ways that surprise even the people fighting hardest for a cause. That's Lujan v. Defenders of Wildlife. Law in action, and sometimes out of reach. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next episode.